it snows, it's shut it down.
Yeah. There's so many hills there too. Like
I know. It's
that
wild.
makes it crazy. All right, well, welcome in everybody. Thanks for your patience on the agenda for today. I was scrambling back and forth running edits on the training guide that we're going to be discussing a little bit later today. But it just, man, sometimes edits just take forever, and then I'm working off a different computer and have to transition over. And like one time I emailed it to myself, but it was like my personal email, and then I was just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, and it wasn't showing up. And then finally I figured it out, and like so, thank you. I know it was a lot more delayed than normal. So, um, but we'll go ahead and dive in. As usual, we really love to hear what you guys had to say. Honestly, you guys bring a ton to what this meeting is. But at the same time, if you're in a loud environment, keep an eye on your phone, just to make sure we can hear yourself when you want to be heard, but also hear everybody else when they're trying to speak as well. Also, if you want to be on camera, that's awesome. But if you don't, you might want to check that too, because it's easy to go on camera and then you find yourself sitting there you didn't expect to. So, um, and I think that's pretty much it. Lorenzo, I see you're here from Starbucks. Good to see you.
See you.
Uh, Anybody else, Caleb or Jeff or anybody else able to join us today?
Yeah, I'm here. And Lorenzo, I think
Hey,
one of those snowplows is actually just a Zamboni climate glitch.
Just
that's funny.
just making the ice smoother for everybody.
That's awesome.
As long as they borrow it when the Kraken aren't playing, right?
That's right.
That's pretty funny. Let's see. Anybody from Thermopylae able to join us today? I know Javi sometimes sneaks in here on occasion, so we'll see. Maybe Javi will show up. But we'll throw in some recognition. I didn't really get a chance to throw any in. Just off the top of my head, though, I did want to recognize Roger. Thanks for throwing in that short video, and I think like James Zimmerman, I think you might have thrown in a video too, or at least a photo. We've been, at least Caleb has been receiving some updated CFV photos where they're leaking from that seam. And so any of those like little videos or photos that you guys have been helpful just to kind of relay what's going on from the field as well. So thank you. Thank you for any photos that you guys send. It's really helpful for all of us. Also, I want to thank Brian Bakari, just because I know, Brian, you've made a lot of recommendations on the updated troubleshooting guide, which we'll talk, or not troubleshooting guide, training guide that we'll be discussing a little bit later today. And there's just a whole bunch of people that make continuous recommendations on that one from our training team. So thank you to everybody also that I'm not even including on by name. That's part of our training team and etc. That helps out with kind of making that content. So. Anybody else have any other call outs though? Anybody want to shout anybody that's helped you out?
Yeah, I guess since it's been so quiet, this is Roger. I wanted to give a shout out to Ryan and you, Matt, both for your help, especially Ryan today with some help with the piston problems I was having on one of the Mistrenas. So appreciate y'all. Thanks for being there for us.
Yeah, it's awesome. What was going on? What kind of piston issue were you running into, Roger?
Sorry, I had another call coming in, so I couldn't switch over right away.
Oh, you're good.
I was getting basically it was piston, mobile piston one brew chamber moving no problem whatsoever. But piston two, nope, wouldn't go anywhere. So we were able to trace it back to one of the Molex connectors. The
Mm.
pinout was no good, so I was able to crimp it back into place a little bit better because it was just too wide, so it was chattering on the inside. Hopefully that holds. If not, then we're probably gonna have to go with a wiring harness.
Got
But
it.
it seems to be doing well. They haven't called it back. So
Mm.
prior to that was replacement of a CCB board. And that did it, but that was probably because of the connector. So
It's tough to
hindsight's
evaluate.
2020. Yeah, it's a hard
Some
one
of
to
those
define.
connection issues are really tough to, especially when they're intermittent and they're kind of coming in and out. I try to understand where it's coming from. It's difficult.
10-4. But yeah, definitely appreciate everybody's help with that and sticking on the line with me trying to figure it out.
Yeah, awesome call out. Thanks, Roger. Anyone else? Okay, we'll go ahead and dig in today. Pretty light on the agenda, so we'll have plenty of time to chat if you guys have any questions or anything. First off, I'll open up the general a little bit later. I'm gonna get through the stuff, then we'll kind of open up and see what you guys have. But cleaning enhancement, just wanted to really make a reminder to everybody that if you have a cleaning enhancement unit, just to ensure that cleaning enhancement is toggled on. You know, especially as we are going through and doing some of these hardware updates, etc. If it's a standard M2, just double check, make sure that is toggled on or off depending on what setup you have for your unit. This just plays a critical role in the unit being able to function like it needs to, so it's key in being able to do that. Now it should be able to, if I remember right, Lorenzo, maybe you can correct me on this one. At which point will the unit recognize on its own for the resistor that's there for the M2 Pro or not, and then automatically turn on and off?
Yeah. So once it's with the resistor, the machine will know which software to run, right? Whether it's for M2 or M2 Pro. And if it knows it's an M2 Pro, there is no enabling or disabling. It's just enabled, right? I think the feature shouldn't even be selectable on M2 Pro.
That's what I was thinking,
Right.
yeah. Mhm.
So for M2, the standard M2, there's no such resistor, right? So
Right.
there's no way the machine can actually know that it's on or that it's installed and therefore turn on its own. So it's really important that whenever you see a machine that that you're working on and it's disabled, verify if it needs to be disabled or enabled. And you know, there's the stickers on the machine on the inside. That's a telltale sign. And one thing to know that's really important, and we're kind of talking about, is anytime you update the software on an M2, that toggle will switch back to off, right? Because that's kind of the standard today. The majority of our machines in the fleet don't have cleaning enhancement, so it is defaulted to off. Maybe in the future, we might change that once we have successfully rolled out across all US company owned. We may be able to ask Thermoplan, hey, can you make it automatically on? Yeah, Rob?
Okay, absolutely correct on what you were thinking about the M2 Pro. It's not even an option, not a toggle. I do want to call out watching out for thinking the toggle might be there and accidentally toggling on the ground chute. There were a couple instances where that happened, and we couldn't understand why, but it was on the M2 Pro, and that's what we deduced.
Got it.
So yeah, just emphasizing, because we are seeing more and more units creep into the category of has cleaning enhancement installed on it, but the feature is disabled, right? And it's most likely due to, you know, someone needs to update the software because it's an older version, or it's just if you're trying to reload the software because of some sort of corrupt software issue, and that will switch it back to off. And we are seeing that the cleaning is no longer as effective. And in fact, it's less effective than if it's off. Or sorry, than if it's if you don't have cleaning enhancement.
Got it. So key takeaways here, make sure that it's up to date. Was it 1.4, 2.5? Is that
No, it's still 136.4.
136.4, okay.
Yeah. We are working and should be releasing the 142.7 software soon. But for M2, it's 136.4. M2 Pro, it's 142.5.
Got it. So any cleaning enhancement stuff will not have 142.5 on it whatsoever. So it's going to be a manual regardless.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Any questions? Sweet.
I have a unit where it looks like somebody updated the software for 42, but it's just a standard M2. It's working perfectly fine. Should I revert it back to 3.6?
Yeah, it's not an approved software for M2 standard, so it should be reverted. So the only acceptable software for M2 today, right? Not talking about M2 Pro, M2 is 136.4. Unless if we're doing some sort of testing, which there should be a sticker on the machine that says, hey, machine has a software in test, don't revert it or don't change it. Otherwise, yeah, it is 136.4.
Yeah, this is just the regular, not even cleaning enhanced or anything. So, all right, yeah, I'll just go and I know I'm not sure who did it. Might have been the vendor or something. So next time I go, I'll just go and revert it.
Ryan had the same question that I kind of had, because I know typically speaking, we don't go backwards with. Oh, but you answered the question that, yeah, it's a THP thing.
Let me ask Javi.
Yeah. It's worth bringing up. Any other questions? Sweet. There's some good reminders in there for me too. So thanks, Lorenzo. Eggnog and inclusions. So eggnog, I mean, I loved eggnog lattes back in the day. They kind of disappeared for a while there. But they have made a return, and we have since seen an increase in some call volume around some of the inconsistent steam side of things, which usually correlates to just clogged steam wands or something to that nature. So I think the big takeaways here is that inclusions are new, at least this kind of inclusion, where they're adding like protein into some of the milk beverages to be able to kind of make it a protein type of latte. But that's also making it a thicker beverage, and so the viscosity and consistency changes, which increases or decreases the way that it's actually going to adhere to things if it's not blown out correctly. So the main takeaway is just to make sure that we're coaching to their process, which every time there is a use, they're supposed to blow it out for 2 seconds, just to make sure everything is clear. If that's not happening on a regular basis, especially with the eggnog and protein inclusions, it's going to increase the clogging rate at a very fast rate. So something just to be aware of. I know most of you have probably seen this or aware of it from past eggnog type things, but just wanted to bring it up, make sure that we're all on the same page there too.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I mean, we are already seeing an increase in steam wands clogging due to protein, right? And the eggnog hasn't even been launched yet. So that's launching December 2nd.
Wow.
So not yet an issue with eggnog, but definitely an issue with protein. And apparently we're also going to we're testing some other powders. So that this is something you will need to continue exploring in terms of how to best approach, providing partners with a solution at the store level, but also making you guys aware. It's like, this is something that will be more common as these powders keep getting released. Ted?
Yeah, sorry, and just real quick, do you know, like off the top of your head, which document or where in their portal we can refer them to for their latest cleaning standards, just where it can specifically say something like after every steaming, purge your wand for this amount of time?
Yeah, that is standard operating procedure, and we are communicating that to stores with this kind of increase in, we've outlined the risk to operations like, hey, be ready because this is going to be a problem during the holidays, especially when it's, high volume, it's going to be chaotic, right? To really emphasize to clear the steam one or purge the steam one for 2 seconds after all drinks. I mean, this should be happening regardless if it's eggnog or matcha or protein. But that is something we're working on in terms of making sure that is reinforced and communicated even more at the store level.
Perfect. And is there any specific document or place we can refer them to?
Not yet, because it hasn't
Okay,
been
perfect.
communicated yet.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome. Thank you.
Lorenzo, I think actually the document that we created years ago, early in the program, it's not clean taste calibrate card. We distributed that to all technicians. Matt, it's probably still somewhere on the back end for folks to access, but this might be a good one to revisit. I think it's still accurate today from a calibration / cleaning standpoint. I'll bring it up and double check, but I think that's on there, Ted.
Thank you.
But this is a Starbucks document that we provided to technicians and facilities partners. It's not a operational document that they can go find. So this is the thing, when you're standing in front of them, you can show them this is a Starbucks document and this is your clean taste calibrate, instructions. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. Yep.
So you can also find it in the
Skim.
This is on page 17. It might change because of the way they have it set up in their system. This is the old PDF version of it. But if they go to the section under steam wand, it'll say cleaning the steam wand after each use. And then it'll hop down here and this is blow out the steam wand for 2 seconds. So that might be helpful too. Cool. Well, thanks for the update on the eggnog too. I thought eggnog was already live, so that was a good update for me as well. Let's see here. Kale says, been observing a lot of partners waiting before they do it. Yeah, it should be an immediate thing. Yeah, because I think any time that it sits there, that's where it starts to cause problems because that's where the heat is immediately almost like cooking that on there. So that's where it becomes the biggest problem. It's hard. It's part of that beverage repeatable routine thing that I used to do back in the day. It's hard to get it into your ingrained process, but key. All right, any other questions or thoughts on inclusions, steaming practices, etc.? Cooking of eggs with steam. Hey, it's like sous vide.
Best eggs you'll ever have.
I don't
I think
believe you.
All right. The only other bullet point I had for today, I'll swing on down to Vertic and then I'll just open up the floor to see if there's anything else that we want to discuss. Actually is going to be the training guide that I attached recently. This is 1.6.6. I'm just going to run through a few things that we've done on this. There's not anything super duper exciting on it. Really, the main things that we've done is kind of made adjustments for little things like moving some stuff around that needed to be shifted, technically changing stuff so that it was reading PTC instead of NTC, so there's not the mixed communication on these. Adjusting how there's a toggle now for high elevation or high altitude, and mentioning the updated temperatures. Really, those are the main takeaways on this update. Made some subtle adjustments to the Pentair side of things, which is it's up here somewhere. So many pages. And also updated the password. So now you have the updated password. There was like a software update section here. I went ahead and I just put like just closely follow the 2.0 update documents because I feel like trying to fit that all in this little itty bitty section just wasn't going to cut it for what the update was. So if anybody is looking at that, that's the reason for that. Other than that, I think that's the main takeaways from most of this. The QR codes are now working again for any of you that were curious about that. And then I think this one too, if you have any updates on this, the interface map is updated now according to what it should be looking like, roughly at least. So if you guys have any questions on where to find things, this should be ready to go. I also included the dial and hopper button RGB values in here if you're ever curious as to like if you needed to reset something on like your button panel or something like that that was replaced. So something just to keep an eye out for, but that's about it. That's all I had on the agenda today. I'll open the floor to see if anybody has anything.
I have a question. I don't know if anybody can help me with this. I have a machine in M2 that's leaking overnight. That's the only time it leaks. It leaks a small puddle under the machine overnight. We checked everything coming from the hydro. We've changed, it had that T fitting. We changed it to the elbow. We checked everything in the backside of the chassis behind the nameplate. A bunch of dust buddies on all the fittings, no real water back there. Does anybody have any kind of input on that?
I might have a little
Hey,
insight.
what?
Ran into a ghost leak that was doing the same thing to me on an M2. Ripped the whole machine apart. I couldn't find anything. I checked every O-ring. I checked the drip tray, checked the O-rings, checked fittings. Could not find it leaking. Couldn't find anything. And I kept complaining about a puddle. Even had my plumbers go out there. Um, so this last time I went out there, opened up the machine and just sat there and watched it while it brewed, watched it while it rinsed. And about 3 times out of 10, the magnet valve on the bottom right side, when it would activate on a rinse, it would leak and then it would drip down right into the middle of the grounds drawer and bypass everything. So it wasn't going into the machine, it was just dripping right into the middle of the grounds drawer, going right underneath the machine and causing a puddle. It took me a while to find that leak, but I mean, maybe check that, watch the machine because it was only during a rinse, not during a brew. And like I said, about 3 times out of 10 is when it would do it. So something was wrong with that magnet valve. I went ahead and replaced the entire thing, and I haven't had a call back on it.
Thank you for that. And it's overnight though, so it's only once the machine's completely shut down. When they come in the next day, is when they see the puddle on the counter. It's not during brews, cleans, or anything like that.
Overnight sounds like it might be an issue. The last thing they do is fill it. So one of the things I heard in the pro training was in the components, they have this new wonderful setting where you can get water to run through your cleaning key. But it sounds like it might be associated to that. So I would suggest running the cleaning. That's the only thing outside of them leaving. Because typically the partners, they fill it, they start the process, they don't wait around for it. And they leave and they come back. So it might be related to those holes that, those hoses that are connected to the cleaning key. Those go around in the backside above the chassis. So it might be related to that. That's something else you can look at.
Thank you. I'm still taking
Ramoy, if you want to go ahead and chime in there. Matt's currently off the call. So you can go ahead.
Hey, I recently seen, you guys could correct me with my verbiage, but the T connector that connects to the drain line that runs on the back wall where the logo is. I've seen those connections leaked before. it's like a slow drip and it builds up in that little pocket there, and then probably overnight that could cause that pool of water. It's kind of weird because it won't just drip constantly. It will reach to a certain amount, then it will leak right out.
You know about the tee off of the main water inlet?
I'm talking the one that connects to the drain line. There's two back there. I'm not sure what the correct verbiage on the name is,
Oh, I know what you're
but it's
talking about.
underneath the pot.
Chassis,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is overnight. So nothing's actually flowing through the machine. The machine is like turned off or it's in sleep mode. And
Hey, and
while it's
George,
in rest,
where are you guys seeing the leaked pool under the machine?
it's just pooling under the machine, like under
So
the chassis.
one of the things we have seen is like with really damaged drip trays, right? Where they put them through the dishwasher, right? And they essentially hold water in them. And so it might be worth seeing if like the seams are broken and allowing water to get into them and then just dripping out overnight. And so you're not seeing it when you're doing any of your tests because you're not doing like the drip tray thing. It might be worth seeing that. It's a stretch, right? Because they'd probably notice it and tell you it's dripping towards the front or towards this part here. But it is something worth looking into.
Oh, thank you, Ted. Yeah, that's a great one. Thank you.
And then James, you're next.
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, I just informed people of something I found with the Culver Vertica. I was getting a flashing red lights on the left tower, and thanks to everybody who helped me. By the way, everybody in the tech chat and Ben Cherry and Jan were very helpful as well. But it ended up being not the usual suspects, but it was actually the PCB board. Or am I saying that? Is that the right acronym? PCB, right? The board on the back, the left tower. It was given like a false signal, and it was like every 60 seconds after turning it on, it would start flashing red. And it wasn't anything else. It wasn't the reed switches or driver or the button panel. Just the board gone bad. So just keep an eye out for that. If you don't get any errors, there was no errors. It was just flashing red. That could be something to look for. Look for is the board in the back.
Thanks, James. And then did anyone else have anything for George?
Thanks everybody who's sending me messages as well. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Then Matt's currently having some technical difficulty. Oh, yep, go ahead, Jan. So you can go ahead and take it away.
It was just to the guy with it was leaking overnight. Don't rule the steam boiler. Don't rule that out either. But I don't know if it's the temperature goes lower during the night. It seems like maybe the O-ring starts to retract a little bit or it gets slimmer and then it starts leaking from the boiler itself, the steam boiler. And I've had that at least once. Don't forget to check that out either.
No, I'm talking to him now. We're looking at it. But thank you all. We're looking at the steam and everybody's messages. So I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, definitely try and get somebody out there like as the store is opening in the morning. Cool. And does anyone else have anything they want to ask? Oh, George, Austin's asking you about the site pressure, so you might want to follow up with that too. But Sam, you can go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
So I have an M2 I've been back to a few times, and last night for the first time, basically it's been tripping the breaker at the location, and I had all the modules pulled out, including the water pump, and just the chassis was tripping the breaker. And I'm curious if anyone has any thoughts on what to check. Because I've looked around the base of the chassis, and I haven't seen anything significant. I checked the copper jumpers in the electrical box, and I don't know. I'm just looking for some potential perspective on what could cause the chassis to trip the breaker.
Did you look at the cord cap?
Cord cap, not necessarily.
There's a good chance it's the fuse box where the water pump line plugs into the bottom of the espresso machine. Had those fail a
Yep.
few times.
Yeah, if the pump, is shorted motor.
Well, originally I thought that it had to do with the pump, and I've tried replacing, like the pump motor, the box for the motor, and that, the power outlet for the water pump. But then, last night I just witnessed it for the first time with the water pump unplugged, just the chassis, trip the breaker.
I'd make sure none of your lugs and the cord cap are loose or touching, or you got
Yeah.
a loose screw or something in there. The other thing I would do is verify your outlet pressure leg to leg all the way around. Make sure it's not loose. You don't have any water or anything close to it. And as Joel was saying, definitely the power cord to the pump, that plug-in connection with the fuse. Those are pretty big suspects if you have nothing in the machine.
Well, that plug is one thing I've replaced. But I'll check those other things.
But yeah, I think they're calling out the actual connection piece in the chassis itself where that plug goes into. They've had some issues sometimes with that, even with like a brand new fuse, right? It's the actual connection piece itself has been causing an issue. So you might need to take a look at that.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And Joel, looks like you're up again.
No, I was just wanting to answer his question. Didn't mean to raise my hand again.
No worries. And then Jan?
Yeah, so regarding that too, I don't know how many times I've seen the water dripping on top of the pump, right where the plug is, on the pump itself, underneath the counter. That has called me kick my ass a few times, so that's where I check first when I get these calls now. Just to make sure that the plug is actually dry. Because they have sanitizer buckets, it could be a loose pitcher rinser that just slowly drips right on top of the motor. So I would definitely check that too.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, I'm back, everybody. Sorry for the challenges there. Had some weird teams and computer issues, but I'm back. Looks like, and thanks everybody. Thanks for Ted and whoever else was helping keep that moving. Appreciate you guys. Sam, have you been helped yet?
Yeah, I just got done.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Anybody else? What's up, Theo?
Hey, I actually have a possible M2 vitals request for Lorenzo if you guys are still looking into taking some of those over the next few months. As we've been doing some more tech support stuff, one of the things that I found would be really, really useful if it's at all possible to incorporate into the vitals is to see the actual percentages of the steam calibration and the flow meter calibrations on the machine. So when you calibrate it, right, you calibrate it to a standard, like a 300 gram thing, and then you put in your actual value, and then it'll spit back out a percentage. Is there any way we can get those percentages posted to vitals? Is that something that's at all possible?
It's a good question. Vitals.
It'll especially help like with NTC calibrations, flow meter, like seeing if we're way out of range.
Yeah. Would you be able to send me a picture of those percentages?
Yeah, absolutely. I can get those to you throughout the week, and then we'll kind
That'd
of
be
go from
great.
there.
Yeah. Once I get those, I can put together a request.
Cool. Thank you so
And I
much.
think it'd be really good also for if you could, just so I make sure I communicate this clearly, what the benefit is. That's always something that they look for so that they can assign resourcing. Like, how is this benefiting
Absolutely.
the technician?
Yep. Yeah, I'll definitely write something up for you. Thank you, Lorenzo.
Cool. Thanks.
Sorry, I can't raise my hand. I'm in the car. I had something I noticed that was kind of weird, and I don't know if there's like a reasonable explanation for it that I just don't know. But I was on an M2 call, and I was using Vita for like the summary, and sorry, the summary seemed like it was giving me information for the other bar, based on the ticket history of the other bar, because I would figure out, I was just kind of like looking through my information of who had been there before. So any reason it would have done that, like mixed the two serial numbers, or was I looking at the wrong thing, or have you come across that before?
It's interesting. I think it may be just yeah, I don't know. I might have to ask around and see exactly what's going on. But is anybody in the field? Yeah, that's potential, Steven. Anybody else have any other thoughts on that though?
Sometimes Vita just spits out bad information, and if you give it a few minutes and try again, it'll pop the right information. Happened to me yesterday or the day before. Gave information for the wrong machine altogether. Gave like for an oven or something, so not even an espresso machine. Then I looked at it a little while later, and it popped up for the correct machine.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'd be seriously doubting what I was doing there. It took me like 15 minutes to verify, like, am I doing the right thing here?
Yeah, understandable. Anyone else? All right. Going once, twice. Ryan.
I have a question about Clover Verticas. Do we have I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but we were looking at the error code list the other day, and I'm just wondering if in the 2.0, did we get rid of monitoring the flow meter and the I guess inlet valve is what we're calling it? Because we don't see an error code for that anymore. So we're just wondering if that's still there and it was just missed on the list, or if it is no longer present.
Yeah, Caleb, I don't know if you're still on or not.
I am. Let's see here. And I don't think so, but I haven't become one with all the new error codes yet. I'm actually just got the new manual yesterday to start looking through it and approve it. If you give me a few minutes, I can do some quick digging. I don't know the answer off the top of my head, though. Seems like it should still be there.
And like a general question we have are there more errors than what was in the original mapping? Like, was the original mapping just kind of a quick little, this is kind of what we know, and we think there are more error codes down the line?
I don't know that either.
Okay, perfect.
Ted,
Yep,
if there
yep.
are more or less. I thought we just renamed them, and we did also like take some of the descriptions around like call for service out of the message, because not every time you get an error you need to call for service, and sometimes it would just drive a nuisance work task. So there were some naming conventions that changed, and then the mapping that happened. And some messages that did appear partner facing maybe aren't partner facing anymore. They still exist, but they don't get like broadcast. That's my understanding, but I don't know how that all landed, so I need to dig into it a little bit to give you a better answer.
Cool. And as you dig in, can I put one more request in as you're looking at that? The other big one we have is just how the cleaning messages pop up on the screen. Big one is the machine. We can see it when it does a cleaning complete, but does it like have any logging of when a cleaning starts? So we can tell kind of either if a cleaning stalled out, had an error in it, or if they just kept it overnight or something like that. Is there? So if you get a chance to see if there's like multiple loggings for different cleaning things, we'd really love to know.
I know in the IoT messaging, there is a start and a finish. I don't know how that comes across on the UI, but I can ask.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Austin, you have any questions for us? Hey, buddy, you're breaking up a whole lot. Like, oh,
He sounds scared. That sounds really
yeah, I don't even know if we caught a full word there. Oh, I think he might have just. I think Teams deleted him too. Teams have been doing strange things today. I don't know what's going on. All right. Well, maybe he'll hop back in. I'm not sure. Anybody else have anything else?
I'm back. Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, you're back. Yes, now you're good.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, it was sounding weird on my side too. I
okay.
wasn't sure if it was me or not. I had a unit. So one of my unit, well, like a year ago, we had a store closed down, pickup store closed down. The units there were moved to 2 other sites. They did not move the Guardian modules for whatever reason, just the units. So one of my machines wasn't connecting. But the original Guardian module at the side I was at, the new unit, it's still there. They just left like both sites just left the Guardian modules there. So it's one of the original Guardian modules. It has like a 3 or 4 digit serial number. I was actually able to get connected via the USB, but I had a really interesting, I'm gonna put this picture in the chat. But if you actually pull up the info on the unit itself, it says it's not connected. Or it says it's online, but there's no IP address. And it's still like it's connected to Vitals. I was able to get it up and you can see the shots I was pulling, but it doesn't look like it's connected whatsoever on the machine. Or like it says it's online, but there's no IP address. It's weird.
Is anything showing in Vitals or not?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh. I don't know what to say.
Just odd. But yeah, I was able to get that. The Guardian module there was originally with one of the validation units. Connected it to a new unit via the USB. It works fine. No, I didn't do any. I didn't do anything with the software. It's possible that that might have done affect it.
Strange. Not sure. Reboot and everything. Did you have a chance to power cycle it?
Sorry, just change my screen for a second. Yeah, I toggled it to USB and power cycled it, and that's actually what got it connected. But it never came up with an ISP or a IP address.
Strange.
That does actually remind me. I didn't mention it to you about the on the Clover Verticas. The second one I had that showed up with the boiler set points at 93 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So I did some testing with it, and if you put it to high altitude, that got it to go to the correct temps, 96. And
Oh,
if I turned high altitude off, it went to 90.
so it was like inversing.
Yeah. Once I toggled it and power cycled it, that changed. So high altitude went to 90, high altitude off went to 96. So you need to if you run into a Clover that has the set points at 93
Oh,
degrees, you have to
yeah.
toggle it on and off and power cycle to get to
Power
go
cycle.
properly. Yeah.
Strange. Thanks for that update, though. That's super helpful. Anyone else have anything? Charles.
Just curious from a service standpoint, I came across an M2 where the rest mode time was changed to 30 minutes. The partners, obviously like that, but I know it's defaulted to like 10 minutes. Does changing that time interfere at all with how the machine operates? Does it deteriorate parts faster or anything like that?
So the rest mode for the M2?
Correct.
Probably not, but I think I don't know if we're technically. I think I'd have to refer to Starbucks on what they would like to do with that scenario. Maybe even thermal plan on that one. I'm not sure what the process should be on that one, whether or not that's approved or not. Renzo, you have any thoughts on changing the rest timer so that it typically is about a 10-minute timer, but pushing that out? Any thoughts on that one in general?
We're talking about like going to sleep mode.
Yeah, it's rest mode. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's what we've said it's really about sustainability, right? It's just if the machine needs to go to rest. I guess I should do some digging, but operationally, that is the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see about changing it, but I think we should stick to the standard for now until we understand a little bit more why that decision was made to make it 10 minutes as opposed to 30 minutes. But I can't speak to it right at this moment. Caleb, do you know why there's a preference for 10 minutes over a longer duration for the rest, for how long it takes to get into rest mode? Not sure if you're still on.
Yeah, this has come up before, but I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
Feel like like you were trying to get the screens to dim faster.
Maybe it's
screen life,
preservation of the
yeah.
screen, but I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. I'll do some digging.
That's good. Anyone else?
I have a Vertica question.
Yeah.
It's related to opening procedures.
Okay.
So when you go in and you turn off opening procedures and you power it down and you turn it back on and it tells you a cleaning is required. Or in some cases, I've went in and turned it off and power it down, and do my work, and power it back on, and then in the middle of doing some test cups, it will lock me out and say cleaning is required.
Yeah, so this is
So I got to run through the cleaning.
This sounds like it's a 2.0 thing. So what happens is the Guardian module that's connected to the unit will automatically reset the time to be UTC. So it'll think that it needs to do a cleaning cycle at that time of day.
Well, there's two scenarios. One is the battery in the main UI is dead, and that's not. This could be like connected to the Guardian or not, right? So if that battery's dead and you restart it, then it loses the date and time. So it doesn't have to be connected to a Guardian for that failure mode. And the solution is to replace the front panel because that battery's dead. The problem that Matt is discussing is we found that when a Vertica is connected to a Guardian, a Kio module, but the Kio module isn't connected to the internet. The Kio module is not getting updated time and then sends the wrong timestamp to the Vertica and then causes multiple cleanings throughout the day. But that's not related to a off power cycle necessarily. That can just happen because the machine thinks it's a certain date and time. Store does a cleaning cycle. Everything's hunky dory. Guardian sends another bad signal to the Vertica, updating the time, and all of a sudden it's having to do another cleaning cycle. You can test that by unplugging the Guardian, and see if that you don't have that problem anymore. I think we want to be careful about unplugging Guardians because we're getting a lot of valuable information. So once you've unplugged it, then we stop getting data. So we really want, if you do unplug a Guardian for this multiple cleaning, we really want you to identify that as the problem and not just unplug it, to be on the safe side. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, what you got going on?
Hey, I just wanted to add regarding the multiple cleanings on the Verticas. I've ran into a few stores where they've had that issue, and I've had success just reinstalling the software, and it's resolved the issue. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
So just going through the whole process again?
Exactly, yeah.
Fascinating. Anybody else find the same thing? It's good to know, though. Maybe that's something that we just need to continue to work through. And tech support, I'm sure you guys maybe have ran into some of this, but I'd like to get your thoughts on it. Maybe here in a little while. But yeah, that's my other question too, Celeste, was like whether or not it was, did you have the Guardian? Well, you have to run it without the Guardian module plugged in on the front end, and then you plug it in at a different stage. So I'm guessing that's going to have to be in a particular scenario. So Ryan's just asking, did you do both 1 and 2 or just the second one?
Both 1 and 2.
Okay, you started right from the beginning. Cool. All right, anything else you guys want to discuss? All right. Well, we'll end a few minutes early today. Hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your week. Thanks for hopping on. And I'll try to get this recap out to you guys here soon. Have a good one, everybody. Yeah.
Thanks.